Hi, I'm Dr. Hannah Beard and I'm a chiropractor from the Lifestyle Solutions Centre Pure Wellness based in Bournemouth. And today I am here to talk to you about our 5 top tips for working from home. Most of our clients are now coming in telling us that they are either working from home or within the next coming weeks they will be working from home. So we have come up with 5 tips for you to keep your back safe but also to be productive whilst working from home. So the first thing we're going to look at is what chair to use. We've been asked this by many clients already because most of us don't have these special ergonomic chairs at home that we may have in the office. But that's absolutely fine because you don't need an ergonomic chair to keep your back safe whilst you're working. So take this chair, okay? This chair is absolutely fine for working at this desk. So depending on whatever desk or table you may be using, your dining room table or kitchen table to do your work at, is you want to make sure that the chair that you're sitting on can go underneath the table or desk that you are using. What you also want to make sure of as well is how you sit in the chair. So when you sit down in a chair, what you want to make sure is that your bum can come as far back into the chair as possible. You then gently want to pull your pelvis to either side to open it up and allow you to sit in a lovely upright position. In this position, I can't really compromise my back in any way, and I'm not really having to focus on using my core to hold me up. So even after a number of minutes, as my core may start to become weak, I can still maintain this lovely upright position. The other thing that you can do with regards to a chair is, instead of, if you do have this at home already, or you have a chance to pop to a local sports store, is that you can use a Swiss ball. Swiss balls can be very good because they are unstable, okay? They make you sit up in this lovely upright position. Because they're full of air as well, it means that you can move and bounce whilst on them to maintain some movement and mobility within your spine. So the next thing that we're now going to look at is how to set up your desk properly. So once you've found what table and chair that you're going to use, now we want to make sure that the computer is set up correctly. So with the chair, ensuring that the chair can come all the way underneath the desk so we can sit nice and close. Assume our position, and then what we want to make sure is that our feet are firmly on the ground. Now this chair for me is fine, but you will find that a lot of women will struggle with chairs and find their legs are swinging, and we will ultimately slouch to get our feet comfortably on the floor. This is where a footstool can come into use. Now many of us may not have that at home, but you can use things like books or boxes to support the feet so you can stay back within your chair. The next thing that you want to do is make sure that your monitor is at eye level. Now I conveniently have a monitor that I can slide up and down. If you're using a laptop or you don't have this convenience, you can use things such as books to bring the monitor up to your eye level. Make sure the keyboard is nice and close to you, and so is your mouse, so you can remain sat back whilst working at your computer. If you're sat back here, you're going to have the tendency to do this, okay? So make sure all the equipment can come close to you, and this is why we need a chair that can come underneath the desk. Our third tip is to switch between sitting and standing. Now that doesn't mean that you need to have an expensive up and down desk. What you can use is books or boxes at home to bring up the monitor and keyboard and mouse to a level that you can use. Now I'm in the office at the moment, so I conveniently have lots of these big black boxes. But as I said before, you may not have these at home, but that doesn't mean that you don't have something that you can't use. Be creative, look for boxes, look for books and so on to ensure you can have something that can bring the monitor more up to eye level, okay? And with the mouse. And then in this position, I can now spend another 20 to 30 minutes stood in an upright position. What we want to think about when we're in an upright position is that we're not locking the knees out and standing like this, okay, but we've got soft knees, and we may be shifting our weight gently from side to side, keep our spine nice and mobile, but also so we don't have a tendency to lean through one hip. Our fourth tip is to make sure that you take regular breaks. Now, this is obviously always encouraged generally in a workspace, and we know that it can be difficult when you're at work because you've got a lot of work to do. But hopefully in your own home environment, it makes it easier to take some regular breaks to allow your mind to refocus. And what we advise that you do in those breaks is the 3 exercises I'm going to teach you now. The first one is what we call Bruegger's relief. Now, although I've given you these tips for desk setup, we ultimately know at some point we're going to do this, okay? This is inevitable when we're working at a laptop or a computer. So this next exercise that I'm going to teach you is going to be one that will be really effective for opening up and counteracting that slumped position. So the first thing that I want you to do is come towards the edge of your chair. You're going to plant your feet on the floor and gently turn your legs out. From here, you are then going to sit your hips back, lift your chest up, then spread your fingers. You're then going to turn your arms out. You're going to take your arms backwards and then your wrists. You're then going to drop your shoulders. And the final thing you'll do is tuck your chin in. Give yourself that triple chin. From here, you're going to pretend that you've got a piece of string pulling your head up through the sky, and you're going to maintain this for 5 to 7 seconds and relax and shake everything out, okay? And that just helps to put everything in extension where we've been in this flex position. The second exercise is what we call a wall angel. So again, this is going to help with counteracting this flex position through the upper back. For this one, you'll need a wall. You're going to have your feet about 5 centimeters away from the wall. You're then going to bring your elbows up at 90-degree angles, keeping your bum and back flat on the wall. You're then going to bring your arms up above your head and back down again. And you're going to repeat this for 10 cycles. Now, for some of you that may have shoulder problems, this may be difficult, or others that are very restricted in this position, try bringing your feet a little bit further away from the wall, and that should then allow you to maintain this position whilst keeping your back fairly flat against the wall. The last exercise involves a little bit of movement, and the most effective movement is to bounce. So we're going to encourage everybody to come up onto their toes, lift their arms up to the sky, drop down and then bounce, okay? And we're going to bounce here for about 30 seconds. Now, we're shaking everything out, we're shaking the hands out, the arms out, and we're bouncing up and down. The main reason why we want to do this is, one, it's exercise, so it's going to release endorphins into your body, which are going to make you feel good. It's going to push some of the blood around your body and get that to your brain, so it's working better and you're more alert. The third thing that it's going to do is help to boost your mood. So serotonin, which most of you will have heard of, is our happy hormone, and 90% of that is actually made in our gut. And the way that we stimulate it is with vertical motion, so bouncing up and down. So I hope you've enjoyed our top 5 tips. The first one being, make sure you've got a correct chair to use with the desk or table that you're using. The second one is setting up your desk properly to ensure that your monitor is at eye level, your equipment's close to you, and your chair can fit nicely under your desk. And you've also got a footrest if needed. The third one is to switch between sitting and standing. So use things like books and boxes to be able to do that. So you can spend 30 minutes sat down and then 30 minutes stood up. The fourth one is to make sure you take those regular breaks. Allow your body to relax and rest. And we recommend that during that break, you do the 3 exercises that include the Bruegger's relief, the wall angel, and the bouncing. If you feel you've benefited from these 5 top tips, please tag any friends or family that may be working at home as well that would benefit from them. And make sure you stay tuned for our other 5 top tips that will be coming shortly to ensure that you stay safe whilst you're at home. I'm Dr. Hannah, chiropractor from Pure Wellness.